Yeah, I mean, it's a pity that Common Purpose haven't decided they don't want to come onto this programme.
It's not a pity. Common Purpose doesn't come forward.
Well, it is from my point of view.
Well,
I'd much rather them be able to answer these
let's
allegations, particularly about Julia Middleton and what's in her book.
Well,
but they have been on some programmes, and one is this BBC Radio 5 live broadcast. I think it was earlier this year.
Yes.
And one of the Adrian Goldberg, who's a journalist for BBC 5 Live, said this is where the opponents of Common Purpose are a little bit vague. They allege that it's all about promoting a European superstate, forcing diversity onto British society and imposing a form of political correctness. In one video I've seen, Brian Gerrish even said they are trying to inject, and I quote, raw Marxism into society.
Right.
So they have been on some programmes where you've been on as
Can
well,
I just
Brian?
come back to that? There's a very interesting statement by that gentleman, who of course is a member of the BBC, and my site shows the penetration of Common Purpose into the BBC, and also the makers of that programme, we asked if they would come and spend at least a day with us in order to look at documentation. They said that not only wouldn't they wouldn't do that, they didn't have the budget, and their programme producers would not allow it. So I find it disgraceful, actually, that man makes that statement when we gave his staff the opportunity to come and sit with us and look through the documentary evidence we have. But I'm not surprised, because the BBC is riddled with hundreds of Common Purpose graduates, and if we totted up the cost to the licence payer at £3,500 plus VAT per person, we're talking millions. Now, I don't know whether it is a figure of millions, but I prove the point again, because when the BBC has been asked to declare the full extent of Common Purpose in it, it refuses to answer the question.
Now, we've only got a couple of minutes left, Brian. One of the things I really wanted to pin down is, what is one of these Common Purpose courses actually like? What do they actually do on the course? If you get selected as one of the lucky people, maybe they may offer me a bursary, who knows? Right. And I go on one of these courses, what can I expect?
What you can expect, and this is from people who, if you like, I would use the term debriefed us on what happened to them. The first thing we have to be sure of is they are selected for their capabilities. Who are they? Are they in a position of power in the city? Do they control budgets? Are they running their own networks? Somebody like the Chief Executive of Council, a prime target. The advisory board then looks at them, where they're going, where they're likely, will they be in a position of power, and then the course starts. If it's a 2-day course, what you're doing is bringing people together, inviting them to talk in front of strangers initially about their desires, about what they want to achieve, what their hopes are, what they've done right, what they've done wrong, and then that leads into debates on topics. And the evidence being given to us is that these debates are very carefully controlled, and we know that if this process is done correctly, people can have their views and values steered. And this is an area which is becoming clearer to us, where we are seeing Common Purpose people, and I have to say it's happened on the documents, they will tell you untruths. For example, Common Purpose says that public sector people work in their private time on Common Purpose business, yet we have unlimited evidence that Common Purpose people are actually doing it in public time using public equipment. So whatever's happening to them on the courses, it is bonding them into a group who have new values, and the means in which this is done is by no means clear.
Okay, could you just remind us of your website and your details about your newspaper again, Brian, before we finish?
Thank you very much. The Common Purpose website, or our website on Common Purpose, is www.cpexposed.com. And my newspaper, which is a volunteer newspaper, it runs on donations, and with voluntary help, is www.ukcolumn.org.
What is the UK column? What does that mean? The actual name for it? It's not a normal name for a newspaper.
Well, that's because everybody's used to all the names that are currently in existence, but the column has long been a term for a piece of newspaper text. And UK is the United Kingdom, and the paper is going across the United Kingdom and overseas.
Okay, can people subscribe to it?
Yes, and if you go onto the website, there's a page which will help you do that.
Okay, so we've got both these websites then. Mainly is cpexposed.com. That's Brian Gerrish's website, and Common Purpose's own website, where they refute many of Brian's claims, is commonpurpose.org.uk. And I'll just remind people that weren't listening earlier that we did invite Common Purpose to come onto the programme today, but they declined.